James has said that Superman is an immigrant story, that it is political. MAGA today was getting a little upset that he called Superman an immigrant. I wanted to get your reaction.
Sure about that?
Somebody needs a hug. It's just a movie, guys.
Oh, okay.
The people that we support in this country are immigrants, and if you don't like that, then you're not American.
Let's have some Bible.
Well, the time has come, and the time is finally here for Super Gunn, brought to you by James Man is out, and wow, this is probably going to be the most divisive movie of 2025. You have the Snyder Bros versus the Gunn fans, and honestly, I'm just going to say it right off the bat. David Cornsweet as Superman was better than I expected. But that does not mean this is a good movie like I thought it was going to be. What the fuck? As a lot of you may have seen, when you have your morning cup of coffee, you get to read the comments about the people arguing about this movie.
Hope you get ass cancer and die, you son of a bitch. I'll cut your throat. I'll come to your house and kill your children.
So get your fingers ready and let's get the keyboard warriors a show that they desperately desire. So James Gunn Superman already starts off with the opening credits like we already seen in the trailers. Him just getting his ass kicked. And yes, people look on it with great joy. That's how the movie starts. Apparently James Gunn was also obsessed with the number 3. 3 years, 3 months, 3 seconds. Superman third year. This is almost what it's going to feel like. But I will give credit where credit is due. David Cornsweet was good as Superman. He felt like Superman. He talked like Superman. He poised himself very well. And honestly, I will give him credit. This was done pretty damn good. But he definitely doesn't always act like Superman. We'll get into that one. And I already know what you're all thinking. Her poor cervix. Yeah, that's right. Him and Lois Lane are already together on it, but they are keeping a secret. That poor woman. Don't look at me like that. You've all thought about it. So let's get into this so the Gunn fans can have a few seconds of desperation. After we've already seen Superman already get his ass kicked, which is definitely not going to happen further in the movie, right? Ain't that right, Jimmy? We all see what happens in the Fortress of Solitude. After Krypto ends up finding him, takes him back home, he has to heal himself and get back to normal. And the only way he can do that is being healed by the Yellow Sun. And I will say it was a pretty decent scene. One of the things that we have to just accept at this point is that Superman gets his ass kicked in this movie repeatedly, over and over and over again. James, you are aware that his name is Super, right? But, hey, let's face it, I'm sure it's not going to be a continued course of conduct in this movie. Yeah, it's going to be. But here we go. But after we find out what's going to be happening inside, the engineer and Lex Luthor himself decided to go to the Fortress of Solitude. This is going to be one of the more disappointing parts of the movie now. Lex Luthor just walks in, and he is not even fazed by some of the VFX works that we're even seeing here. There's no reflection. It doesn't make him look like a badass. It just makes him look bad. But are you ready for things to go from bad to absolutely worse? This is going to piss every comic book fan off. Superman has always been able to play one half of the message from his parents from Krypton, but never the second half. But thankfully, the engineer is going to be able to decode the second half, and well... The people there are simple and profoundly confused, weak of mind, spirit, and body, lured over the planet as the last son of Krypton. Dispatch of anyone unable or unwilling to serve you, Kal-El. Take as many wives as you can, so your genes and Krypton's might and legacy will live on in this new frontier. Do us proud, our beloved son. Rule without mercy.
Oh! This is not how this was supposed to go!
Well, there you have it. Their beloved son. They tell him to be the Man of Steel and pump all that metal so he can find the Herald and spread his seed and his Man of Steel mustard all over the place. Who the absolute fuck wrote this? Good job, you dick. But I'm not going to pretend like everything was bad. There certainly were some high points, such as Rachel Brosnahan as Lois Lane. She did a great job. She did a great job there. Great job there, Rachel.
Hey, buddy. Eyes up here.
And as like a lot of people could have predicted, or even the rumors that was believed, is that this was supposed to be a 10-minute scene between these two being interrogated. But Superman held his composure, and you can tell that Rachel Brosnahan and David Cornsweet do have very good chemistry. That's going to go be back to one of the biggest problems that this movie is going to face. They wanted to do a complete course correction from the Snyderverse. They said it was too dark, too gritty, too dirty. That's fine if you want to do something different. The problem is you course corrected way too much. Superman was never going to be super. There's too much quirky little humor that's going to be thrown in here. Even in the office scene, they couldn't get away from the James Gunn humor and the James Gunn mannerisms. This is Superman. Yes, there can be some lighthearted fun, but not when you make it 95% of the scenes that he's going to be in. Let there be heartfelt moments. Let things be emotional. Let things be tough. But honestly, you need to make Superman, Superman. Give him his goddamn balls back. And after, again, Superman gets his ass kicked, again, he gets brought back to the farm, and you finally get to see moments with him and Ma and Pa Kent, who are portrayed as some of the dumbest redneck hillbillies that you will ever meet. They seem like very sweet, earnest people, but Jesus Christ, you played off on that stereotype way too much. The course correction that you were trying to do, DC, was way over needed. It was overstimulated. This felt compact. It felt messy. Yes, you introduced the Justice Gang in this movie, but honestly, you could have done so much more if you would have just had Superman and Lex Luthor. Sure, give him a little bit of toughness. Give the man his balls back. I think that's the least that he deserves. But unfortunately now we're going to be set with a very soft Superman. And yes, people do die in this movie. And it leads up to some of the moments in the scene that you have seen in the trailers that, yeah, there is fighting in the city. And yes, people are going to die. Somehow none of those people died, but you're going to tell me after they had to evacuate Metropolis, 36 million people, they were able to do it within 5 minutes? No, I don't think so. That's not going to fucking happen. That's why James Gunn Superman feels like this is the second part of a movie that we should have gotten first. There should have been a first movie before this where we could have got even some more setup with him. But unfortunately, again, this is going to come back to the world of the DC universe. We need to see the understanding of what Superman really is. Yes, you wanted to make him more optimistic, but you also didn't want to turn him into Man of Steel, which honestly, we definitely could see Henry Cavill did a phenomenal job. And that's why, and I have no problem saying it, Henry Cavill will always be my Superman.
Good boy. Good boy.
But this is what happens when you need to make a Superman with modern audiences. And now you have, as the rumors were true, James, and even as confusing as it is, you made social media a big part of this movie.
Hashtag super shit.
What the fuck? That's going to lead us to Crypto. Crypto is unhinged in this movie and does not listen at all to Superman. Sure, once in a while on a blue moon, he'll help him out, and he does like to protect him a bit. But Crypto's just unhinged as all fuck. He cannot control himself if there's a tennis ball. Could you imagine if little Timmy was out playing ball with his dad? He would kill him. Crypto is a weapon of mass destruction that is controlled by no one. Well, we'll get to that in a minute. And yes, eventually Superman and Lex Luthor do have a heart-to-heart moment, and honestly, I thought that was pretty good. But then, obviously, Crypto gets thrown back into the mix and just destroys Lex Luthor figuratively, not literally. He throws him around, ravishes him everywhere, and yes, he should be dead. Lex Luthor should have been dead over that, but he's not because the plot armor he has is that thick. Nicholas Hoult as Lex Luthor was good, but unfortunately he wasn't great. He wasn't as menacing. He only had one moment with Russian roulette from some guy in the beginning whose only crime was being with Superman and giving him food once. That's it. I just wish there was better writing in this movie. This movie had so much potential, and I think that brings me to the biggest disappointment in it. There could have been so much more that James Gunn could have done with this. He's done great writing before. We've all seen it, and if you haven't liked it, that's okay. But honestly, if you enjoyed Superman, enjoy it. I want you to. Let me know in the comment section below. Who is your Superman, and what did you think of James Gunn's Superman? After they had their come-to-Jesus moment, Lex Luthor somehow lived. Superman is able to have him taken off to jail, and then the movie ends. So there you go. Oh, God, what a slop this movie was to get through. Honestly, this is just going to be an average movie for me. It had so much potential to be so much more. And honestly, James Gunn was not the person to write or direct this movie. James Gunn does not come across as the man that has an American flag outside of his yard in the 4th of July. James Gunn's just not that guy. Truth, justice, and the American way was not mentioned once in this movie. I wonder why. But let's face it, everyone, this is James Gunn, this is DC, this is Hollywood at this point. There were so many good aspects, and honestly, I said David Cornsweet was good as Superman. I will give him credit where credit is due. Everyone else did a fine job with the movie, but they were just working with what they had. This is just going to be a case of wrong writer, wrong director, and unfortunately, everyone's going to pay the price now. If you enjoyed this movie, I am glad you did. I had so many more aspirations for this movie because it could have been so much better. You all know what's coming now. Not even at the end of the movie, you get Molly Alcott, who is Supergirl, and I think was a great casting choice. I think she's going to do a job in this movie, but she comes across as a super drunk girl who just decides to crash land. This woman is a god just like Kal-El is. You want to have her on a bender? That's not what Superman would allow, because she says, hey, thanks, bitch, for letting her watch her dog. She's coming to get crypto. This was one of the dumbest things they could have done. Superman would have lectured her. He wouldn't have let her fly away loaded. He would have told her, no, this is wrong. You need to do the right thing and sober up. That's what Superman would have done. But instead, she comes across as a girl who's getting double teamed at community college. Ugh, so much more hope for this movie than what I wanted. But this is what we got. And as I said, let me know in the comment section below, who is your Superman and what did you think of James Gunn's Superman? For me, given what they did on actually having Superman's mission on this planet, what it could have been, all of the hype and all of the disappointment, this movie is an absolute sin. And, as always, until we meet again.